Are you back?
Might just have to refresh the page. There it goes.
There we go. All right.
Take
Testing.
two.
Here we go. We're live now. We're okay. So apparently we can't talk about Valorant because the Illuminati will come get us.
They
disconnect OBS
attacked
again.
my OBS.
They sent the cyber police after us.
Is that anti-cheat?
So I'm gonna stop talking about it, but I'm gonna have Dogg talk about it instead because I want his internet cut out, not mine.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's certainly created one of the biggest buzz around games that we've seen yet. They pushed the numbers for virtually. They took several records and they pushed very close to several other records for concurrent views and views in a day and stuff like that. But it has raised issues. It's there are so many bot channels at the moment. I have seen, especially posing under the names of former CS:GO pros and the like, which Twitch has to be careful for it as well because that's their image, and they've got their own careers to protect. But it has raised a lot of issues. The directory has been full of not just bots farming, but it's been full of partners and a lot of non-partners now as well, running 24-hour streams and not indicating that they're reruns, which is extremely manipulative of the system. It started out. I'm not going to sort of name one, but it did start out with one specific streamer doing it, and from there it really took off. Now I've seen quite a few streamers complain about it. I've seen Asmon Gold, XQC talk about it, and quite a few others. And the points that they were making are absolutely correct. Anybody that's coming to Twitch, and there will be people coming to Twitch for Valorant keys that haven't been on Twitch before, because that's how you get into the game. So anybody that's coming to Twitch can quite easily fall into watching a channel, and it's duplicitous what's happening, and it can quite easily put a bad taste in their mouth and turn them off for the entire Twitch experience. Now that doesn't help any legitimate streamer. It certainly doesn't at Twitch, but it doesn't help any legitimate streamer on the platform. So it's a huge issue, and it's really, really, the rerun feature is there for a reason, and the duplicity of people. I really do think Twitch should be looking. Perhaps they won't be able to do it this time, but if they aren't going to fix that loophole, then they need to start bringing in punishments for manipulating the system like that, because it's just not fair. It's not fair, and it's shutting out. I mean, I don't know how much it's affecting small streamers, but it's certainly shutting out mid-tier streamers, and it was affecting some of the top streamers as well. XQC was complaining about the fact that he streamed for 2 or 3 hours and was struggling. No, sorry, he did 3 24-hour streams, right? Separated. He did 3 24-hour streams and struggled every single time to get above a bot or someone that was running rerun streams, or not even rerun streams, faking rerun streams. So it has certainly been affecting the top streamers, which leads me to believe that something will happen when you can't, Twitch listens to these people, and rightfully so. So hopefully we'll see something about it. But it certainly has been an interesting experiment, and we're certainly, when it's part of, I don't think it'll happen exactly like this again. It might. It depends how Twitch look at it. It depends how much money someone's willing to pay, I suppose, for it to run it like this. But we're not. This is not going to be the last time we see games launching with these kind of incentives for viewers and for streamers. There's too much buzz created for the game, because Valorant is, from my personal point of view, the buzz is way eclipsing the game's status for me, But it's been an interesting couple of weeks, I have to say.
It has, yeah, for sure. MPI?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dogg kind of hit a lot of it right on the head. Is just there has to be something that can be done about that, because this isn't the first time we've seen a problem like this in streaming. It's not as popular or as big, but Forza, the racing game, the racing sim on Xbox, has drops enabled on Mixer, where you can get like it's an in-game type of currency, I think. I don't remember the exact name of it now, but a good friend of mine jumped over to Mixer for a while and streamed specifically Forza, and the top two people in that directory were just bot accounts that people were watching just to get the drop. And it wasn't even like the game. Like, it was just like a photo of a car. Like, nothing's even happening. Why are you watching this when someone actually playing it? You could be watching them, interacting with them, finding out about the game, and then still getting your drops at the same time. So it's interesting to me from a viewer standpoint of why you would go to that over someone who already has the key and watch them actually play the game when you're on a live streaming platform. And I don't know like how the drops worked exactly, if it was easier to get them in bigger streams, if it was easier to get them in smaller streams. We were talking about this before the show. I just got my drop last night. I got a beta key. I have watched one person play that game, and that is Sadomi. And that's because I wanted to watch Sadomi, not because I cared about the game. Obviously, you know, being a streamer, a gamer, loving video games and stuff, I'm interested to see how the game goes and, you know, what it is, because it's just a new game. There's something happening. I want to learn about it. So, I mean, I made an account, but I wasn't going out of my way to try to get a beta key like some people have been, where that's all they're doing every day. Is watching someone stream Valorant or these rerun streams trying to get a beta key, and they still haven't gotten it. So I don't know how random it is or exactly what it is, because like I said, I've watched one person, and that was a stream that I was already going to watch.
Yeah, we had a little discussion earlier too. We have a small conspiracy theory about the Valorant key drop. So if you guys don't know, the way you get a key
hats,
for when you get a key for Valorant is you have to watch streams. And then after watching, they say 2 hours, you are put into a queue to get a key. And the more you watch, the higher your chances are. But I noticed that I watch streams for a very short amount of time, compared to a lot of people I've heard who watch streams for days, weeks at this point, so I haven't gotten a key. But me and MPI, who have got keys, and Dogg, you got one too, right? You got a key?
Yeah, I got a key.
Good. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I got a key in under 2 hours.
Ooh, we should all play together sometime.
We should actually. Maybe today.
Oh, it's uninstalled from my PC.
That went well.
Yeah, it's uninstalled. The what'd you call it? The whole anti-cheat thing? That was the final. What'd you call it? For me?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that one too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. And so essentially, what I'm thinking is that if you were a active streamer, you had a much higher chance of getting a key than not, like almost obscenely higher. Which makes sense from a business standpoint. You want people who will broadcast the game to have access to the game, so it spreads more knowledge about the game. Versus somebody who doesn't stream, who will just sit there and just play by themselves or with like 3 or 4 of their friends, versus like a possible streamer who could broadcast it to, we'll say, maybe 20 people. Like from a numbers perspective, yeah, obviously you would favor people who stream more. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what Riot and Twitch did.
Yeah. From what I can tell, I don't know any streamers personally that have tried to get a key that don't have a key. You know, like every streamer that I know that has tried to get a key has one. You know, so you know, I mean, this is anecdotal from us, but it kind of does hold up to scrutiny. You know, it does hold up. It would make sense. And as we were saying beforehand, you know, Twitch can easily say that, look, it's a benefit to our most active users, you know, on the platform. So, and as you say, from a business point of view, you know, the more people that are streaming it, the better for Riot. Why not get those people that are most likely to stream it? Why not get them the keys in their hands first? So yeah, it would, to me, whilst as you say it's a conspiracy theory, you know, it is a theory, you know, but I think I think it's fairly sound.
Yeah, if someone came to me with that idea in a boardroom meeting, I'd be like, "That's a good idea. We should do that."
That's a really good idea until somebody catches on and Twitter flames us for it. Twitter's gonna be like, "Come on, man."
True. Now let's get into the spyware part of it. Sorry, the anti-cheat. That was a
Freudian slip there.
Oh my gosh. Woo! But yeah, so in case everyone doesn't know, wow, Riot has their own anti-cheat system for Valorant because they want to really stick on the fact that you won't be able to cheat in their games as easily as other games, because that definitely kills a lot of shooters. So one thing that I think is really scary though is their anti-cheat is a really heavy kernel that goes into like the root of your system. It's on even Valorant's not on, always running. And I'll be honest, I'm not the person to talk to about necessarily the code part of it or the in-depth part of it, but it's something that has been a lot of talked about online for a lot of people. And it could be, even more tinfoil hat theories, or it could be legitimate. And I've heard issues of it affecting other games as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, to put it in as layman terms as possible, it gets what's called ring zero kernel access. That's the highest security read-write access on your PC. Now there are other programs that have that, but the issue that makes it different is the fact that the moment you install the anti-cheat on your PC, it actually tells you that you need to restart your PC. Once you restart your PC, then it runs all the time that your PC is on. Every single day that you switch your PC on, it starts up as part of the background processes. Now, the reason that they're doing it is because a lot of ways that cheats are loaded into games at times is people load the cheats first. The cheats do what they do, and then they load the game. And then the anti-cheat finds it hard to. So this is their attempt to be on all the time, so that you switch your cheats on, it notices that you're not getting in the game. But the issue with this is that it can't be argued that it's a backdoor. It's not that. I think some people are looking at have been arguing, what are Riot going to do? They're not going to, what do you call it? It's not necessarily Riot that are the issue here. One thing that we know for a fact is that FPS games are the market for cheats to be manufactured for. It is the absolute market. You will find more cheats being made for FPS games than any other genre of game, which means that there's a whole bunch of people out there with nefarious purposes in mind that spend their time hacking these things, And when you leave a back door, you're trusting random stranger who's already breaking the law by making cheats for games to not exploit that access into your PC. That is the issue. And whilst it might well be completely secure, Riot might have, the argument is this: at that point, you're then trusting the Valorant coders, the Valorant devs, and I'm not to say anything against them, right? But are they better than Random X out there? You know what I mean? Because that's what it comes down to. What coder's better? The hacker or the coder at the and that's not to in any way impugn the reputations of the devs. It's just you're in the lap of the gods. So that's the issue for many people with it. The ones that are bothered by this, because there seems to be a lot more people not bothered by it than bothered.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you know what the implications are, you're worried about it. But a lot of people just do not know. A lot of people don't even know that it installs that. A lot of people just really skip through the terms and conditions, like play game. There's a play game button, hit it, and then go. So having more awareness of that, like just in case if you have Valorant installed, just make sure you take extra precautions with your PC if you can. Just make sure you're all taken care of. No one wants to get hacked out here. All right. Anything else on Valorant for now, gentlemen?
No, not for me.
I don't think so. I haven't played it, so I can't even talk about the game.
Just before we go, and a few months ago, the game that was on the front page was Tarkov.
Mm-hmm.
Right, drops were usually linked to that as well, although they did it in a different way. If you go to the browser now for Tarkov, the numbers have dropped off. Right, they have dropped off by a great deal. It's fallen into the kind of range that I imagined it would fall into, being a tactical looter shooter. What will be interesting to see is what Valorant, where it settles. Where it settles into the Twitch directory. That is the Twitch directory for me is a real good way of judging, a general game's populace as well as the popularity. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it will be interesting to see where it lands in 2-3 months' time.
Perfect. So I'll make a bold prediction here. I'll say that Valorant will be the top game on Twitch in holiday season of 2020, before the new console generation comes out. Strictly because it's Riot we're talking about. Riot has the most watched esports hours in the world. They have 10 years of esports, like high level tournament experience, which in the esports industry is 100 years.
Yeah.
Compared to some industries. So with that backing behind it and what they really want with Valorant, they wouldn't have brought on so many ex-pros and content creators to give feedback on the game in early stages of alpha development if they didn't want it to be a heavy hitter in the social game. They want to be a heavy hitter in the esports game. And like I said, it's Riot. They know where their money is. They know they have esports, but also having games that are accessible to people who are not necessarily want to be in the heavy top esports scene. So we'll see a possible split between the top pro tier community and also the casual community. Because one thing with Valorant, just gameplay wise, it has a much lower barrier to entry than its main, I'll say inspiration / competitor, CSGO. And with it still being new, people can still figure out new angles. And the devs also put in a lot of player infused things. If you look at their interface too, their interface is a good way of describing it. Their characters are extremely well designed. It's not just people with zero personality. Each character has personality. Some people say they don't like them as much, but if you look at other shooters like Overwatch, each character has a distinct personality, distinct voice lines. Like they hired talent for the voice actors. Ashley Birch, well, I forgot a few others, but
those other people.
Yeah, I know it's really bad to say, but there are a lot of them. If I got my notes up, I would be able to name them all. But they're all high-profile voice actors. I've seen Steve Bloom. Yeah, Steve Bloom. If you hire Steve Bloom for a voice role, you care about the character. Simple as that. So I'm expecting Valorant to be very high on the watch base in late 2020, before holiday season when the new consoles come out. If they do, that is a really big if too as well. All right.
Well, I mean, just as a spin-off point of that, it's interesting to note, Riot, their main game's League of Legends, which is the Dota challenger, and in many ways, for popularity-wise, it outstrips Dota, although Dota has the way bigger tournaments. But the next game, the big one, is competitive, is Valorant. Is going against CSGO, and at the same time they're doing the Epic Games Store, which is Tencent, so that it's part of a real thought out and pronged attack on on Valve and Steam. When you look at it, it's all lined up. They have identified who their competitor are. And they are looking to directly take from them, So it's interesting as well because Valve and Steam, they have to react, and how do they react? That's another thing.
Yeah, CS has been around as a series for almost 30 years, 30 years,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a large player base. It has a large people who have played it before. Pros have come and gone through. I think a major update to the game, and also if you think about it, just the nature of Counter-Strike, and also this is a good interesting point too. If you look at Valorant, for their competitive reasonings, their competitive tournaments, they have a rule on where you can't show blood. You have to turn the show blood feature off. Which means they're trying to market that out to a more brand safe audience, more brand safe marketers. Whereas CSGO, I'm sorry, not many people are gonna be very happy to hear terrorists win on your television screen.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the no blood thing is largely for the Chinese market as well. The Chinese, you're not allowed to show blood. That's why PUBG switched to, I think it's purple or something. It's blue, blue, yeah. So that's a large part of it as well. But at the same time, it absolutely does allow you to sell it to a wider, younger, and you know, as we try to push esports into new territories, you know what I mean, it's more palatable for people as well, definitely.
For sure. Alrighty. Now, let's move on to some more technical things. If you guys did not hear recently, there is a new program slash plugin called RTX Voice. If you have a NVIDIA RTX video card, you can now install this new program plugin where you can essentially destroy all background noise. And I mean almost all background noise. It is that good. If you haven't seen a video of it, look up some videos of people using it. The one I watched was one from Barnacules, and he had a leaf blower, a Dyson vacuum, banging on his desk with a hammer, and all you heard was his voice, and it sounded extremely clear. It was actually almost creepy how perfect it was. Like I really thought it was almost done completely in post. But wow, if that is the technology we're going forward to going into 2021 for streaming, then when, you know, Corona is kind of calmed down, when the whole virus situation is all chilled out, streaming from conventions will get a lot less annoying, I would say, with all the background noise and the grabble of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about RTX Voice so far?
I mean, I haven't tried it myself because the streaming PC I have doesn't have an NVIDIA card in it. But I've seen it working. It's amazing. Like, it blows my mind that a software can do that, and it's not, you know, run through a multi-$1,000 mixer with a professional audio mixer who actually knows what they're doing and changing all those things. They're just kind of like, yeah, just turn it on and it works, dude. Whatever. No big deal. Like, what?
Well, as a qualified sound engineer, I find it quite fascinating. I suspect it uses technology that I did my my projects, my end of year project on, which is digital room analysis, where it analyzes your room, and I'm not going to go into all the details. I could bore you all for hours. But it analyzes your room, and through that, it's able to tell how sound moves through your room. And because of that, it is able to isolate all the frequencies that it needs. I did notice that when he was doing certain things, you could hear the thinness of the his signal. Mm-hmm. Which is completely understandable because you're stripping out so many frequencies. It's what do you call it? But that's I've actually for a long while I've been waiting to see when it would hit the general market. The what I did my project on was high end studio equipment, but I knew, you know, eventually this is going to make it into our market. You know what I mean? It's the way of the world, you know. So it's interesting to see that this is the place that it's first coming in, because at first the manufacturers looked like they were going to try and put it in home stereos and stuff like that. But I imagine the home stereo is not as popular or widely had now, you know, as it was 10 years ago even. Do you know what I mean? More people have got iPod docks or some sort of, you know what I mean, or it's through the PC or stuff like that. Right. So it's interesting to see that they pivoted to streaming. You know, it's actually a real clever move, you know, and it's fantastic. The other thing is, because it's you know, I think when you agree to it, there's a certain amount of information that it takes from the signal so that it can learn and stuff, which means that there's an AI aspect behind it, which means as you go forward, it'll get better and better and better, and the signals will get clearer and clearer and clearer as it begins to understand, oh, that's that signal, I know how to cut that out, you know. So yeah, we could be finally moving to a point of never hearing spill in a Discord call. Could you imagine? You know, who's got the mechanical keyboard?
I was actually reading a Reddit thread about this earlier. It was an Ask Reddit thread, and it was like, people who play online video games, what's your left your mic on moment? And it was people talking about like yelling like at their family in the background, people like getting up to walk away and falling and all kinds of stuff. You'll never know when that happens ever again.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys
Yeah, that
remember
is
when
true.
people somehow couldn't figure out how to listen to music through their headphones and play a video game at the same time? So you would hear like terrible muffled rap music through an Xbox headset? Never
Oh.
again. Get that out of here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that is, yeah. I'm so happy that it's so cool because when I first started streaming back in 2011, this was not even like comprehensible. Like it was so different back then. But now the technology that is readily available now, if you're looking for, and how easy it is to have a high quality broadcast, is immense. And if you ever want to start streaming, I think now is definitely a great time. If you can find a webcam, if you can find a mic, good luck.
Yeah. If
But-
not, find something that works.
Yeah. Cell phones.
I mean,
use your
if you can
headset
find a
and-
mic, you can get with a mic, and until you can finally get your hands on a camera, because God knows they are rarer than hen's teeth right now.
And if your internet is pretty solid, you can dig a little bit and find some ways to use a cell phone over Wi-Fi as a webcam. You might have to spend a little bit like on an app or something, but it's not as much as you're gonna get price gouged for a C920 right now. I think the
$300.
last time I looked it up, it was like $250, $300 for this camera. That's worth the $50 I paid for it, if that.
Also, just pro tip: if you have a Logitech camera, if you have not gone to the settings for it, and I mean literally gone to the settings, you are using a $10 camera.
Yeah.
Go into the settings and you'll get your full value. I've helped at least 5 people in the last 2 weeks with their Logitech cameras. So Logitech, if you're listening, dear God, make better software.
Oh yeah,
The software's
your
rough.
software sucks. I'm
it's
telling you.
awful, and it
That's
resets all the time.
Also,
Your software
figure
sucks.
out why I can't make 2 Logitech cameras work together. Why this is just why we're complaining about Logitech cameras problems.
Yes, Logitech, please sponsor me personally so I can come tell you how bad your cameras are to how much I still use them. Okay, please, thank you. I'll be the most honest. Anyway, enough about me. So let's go on to watch parties. Have you guys used a watch parties feature recently?
Well, I'm in the UK, so no.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I don't have Amazon
Yeah.
Prime, so I can't.
So I'm a lesser person.
Oh gosh. Okay, so
Amazon
just so
likes
people
you.
didn't know, Twitch released a feature recently. It's still mostly, I think, in testing for the US, but partners and affiliates can now host watch parties where they can watch select titles on Amazon Prime with their Twitch communities. And the best part is, it's legal, so you can actually do it and not get banned. Before you do on Discord, now you can do it just on your actual stream. So that's kind of cool. The cool part for me is not how it's working right now; it's how it will be in the future. Because if it gets to the point where, personally, if we can have like simulcast anime come up, and Amazon really wants to dive deep with this feature, we can see a whole new brand of reacts content come out, a brand new feeling of connection of watching a series. Because how many times have you watched a game with commentary with a streamer or a broadcaster, and it just feels so much different than playing the game yourself, or even watching a no commentary live playthrough?
I mean, the thing is, at the moment, it's a little bit exclusionary. Like I get why they're doing it, but everybody having to have Prime, to watch it. This is what will be interesting to see is if we get to a point where bigger streamers can get maybe syndicated is the right word. In the way that Tim is with the NFL.
Mhm.
And maybe seeing streamers actually getting the chance to be even sponsored by a new TV show, and you can watch it with them on their stream live as it goes out each episode. Do you know what I mean? That would be interesting. At the moment, though, it's still going to it still relies on people having Prime. So it's still going to exclude people that perhaps want to take part that can, and, for all different reasons and stuff like that, So at the moment, I'm just, it's good to see it, it's good to see it because it's new and it's something that can be developed further. So that's the main thing. Do you know what I mean? I just think at the moment, it's still a bit early and for us to fully see what it could be, and what it should be.
MPI?
I mean, I pretty much agree with you, Dog. It's I don't like that everyone has to have Prime for it, because at that point, why don't I just go watch it by myself whenever I want? And like, my wife has Amazon Prime, and I just order everything off of her account because we're not paying for 2 Amazon Primes. That's just stupid. So now I cannot take part in watch parties because I don't have it on my account. She does. So I mean, it's kind of one of those things where like I get it. Like, you don't want people to just like the Valorant streams, just kind of start a stream and be like, here's, full Amazon Prime library. Just watch my stream, drop a tip every now and then to help me keep it going. But at the same time, it just excludes everyone and is just going to lead people to continue to find a way around it. Because, it's just one of those things that I cannot watch those streams. Because if you try to go to it, it takes their camera and it doesn't even have it in the place it usually is. Like, you don't have your stream overlay anymore. It took the camera for me, put it in the top over chat like it would be picture in picture for ad, and just on the screen, just really big, said, "You don't have Amazon Prime. You can't watch this."
Sorry. I mean,
thanks. I guess I don't matter anymore because I don't pay you $14 a month for a service that I already have.
I think one thing we could look at as a comparison at the moment is how popular and how regular do we see sub-only streams? There is a feature that you can stream purely for subs, but how often do we actually see it being used? I don't know of any big streamers that do it at all. I'm sure there are people out there. I'm sure there are streamers out there that do it. But how popular is it? And that's the thing. The moment you're shutting people out based on financial reasons, there's going to be a bunch of people that that have got Prime that are like, nah. I'm not into that. I'm not into shutting people out. You know what I mean? So as it stands at the moment, it's exclusionary for people, and it's not going to fulfill its potential. They have to find another way around it. As I say, perhaps this is the prime opportunity for some streamer to approach Amazon and say, "Hey, what's the next show that's coming out? How do I get linked with that show? And how do you get?" Perhaps this is the opportunity now that the watch parties are live and the framework's there for doing it. Then, it could be an opportunity for a decent sized streamer to go and make something here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I never look at things how they are right now because things change. Literally, this is the best example right now. Like, things change like that.
Mm-hmm.
You won't even know. So my biggest thing is this is a good way for Twitch and Amazon to really push having Prime as well. Well, not really good way to push having Prime, because I think it's a great feature, but again, it's not an integral part of the Twitch viewing experience. Right. Because it really is only as popular as people using it will make it popular. Because I think it has potential. It could be cool, but the way it's implemented would have to be something that streamers would feel comfortable using, and streamers always they like using their OBS, they like using their overlays, they like having that control over their broadcast. The minute you take that away, it's automatic negative.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, again, back to Logitech cameras.
That seems to be a theme in the show today.
Okay, but anyway, all shade aside, yeah, no, honestly, I do think that watch parties are a pretty decent idea, but the way they're executed are... I'm not going to use a watch party. I just don't really... I can't find a way to really implement that in what I currently do to make it really fit for what I want to do. And this is a personal experience. Maybe someone else can. Personally, I can't. It's a good idea, and it's a good direction. I like having different, more out-of-the-box suggestions for Prime. Because Prime, the way I envision Prime is, if you have Prime, you have the premier Twitch experience if you have Prime. Whereas right now, you do have a lot of cool benefits, but I wouldn't really say it's something that is the best, most...
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have Prime, you still have a good Twitch experience. if you do have Prime, it's slightly better. Not like not really advanced. Like the free sub each month is probably the coolest feature that I use.
That's the only feature I could even think of.
Right now, yeah, since they took away
They
the
took
ads,
away the ad-free viewing, and like,
Yeah.
cool, here's some free games you've never heard of. Thanks. Can I just not have ads instead?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have 4 million indie games that I've never heard of. I just don't want to see ads anymore. I hate them. Like, I'm looking at what Prime would offer me right now, and none of this is incentivizing for me to have Prime at all. It's a ton of games that I haven't heard of, and some like starter packs for Warframe, World of Tanks, Destiny, Grand Theft Auto Online. Like,
Yeah.
no, no.
And personally as well, it seems, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seems like the in-game rewards have kind of slowed down as well. You know, like there used to always be a lot of, if you're playing this, there's a Twitch Prime reward, you know, like just link your game account and stuff. It seems to have slowed down a great deal, which is unfortunate as well. You know, they've been trying to push, what's the other one? There's
Talking about Turbo?
Turbo.
Because that's what gives you ad-free viewing now, right?
That's the one that, yes.
But you don't get the free sub anymore.
But you don't get, yes.
So it's like, I have to pay, what, $20 a month to not watch ads on Twitch and have one free sub?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Amazon Prime has its other benefits. You know what I mean? It has your Prime delivery, which nothing's Prime delivery.
Yeah, which right now is not working out great.
But you obviously you have access to the movies and the programs and stuff as well.
And I will say they have actually started kind of stepping up that, I think.
Yes,
because for a long time it was like, oh, you have Prime Video, cool. What are you watching? And everybody's like, oh, I haven't opened the app in ever.
Yeah,
but now
and they started doing their own shows as well as getting on more movies and other stuff. Yeah, some very good shows that are really enjoyable. So yeah, that benefit is definitely increased in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like I said, having Prime, like Amazon Prime, and then you get Twitch Prime as a result, that is probably the best way to do it if you do use Amazon.
Yeah,
like even once. Sometimes even once will pay for your shipping for that month. So like I said, it's as a whole package, it's great. But if it was just Twitch Prime and you just had to pay $14.99 just for Twitch part of it, I don't think that would be really beneficial. But then again, that's keeping it in a bubble. You can't look at it as a bubble because of course there's so many other like benefits from Amazon going on too. So it's kind of like a group thing. So you can't really say one thing is really necessarily bad because you have to take everything into account together, the whole package. But again, like I said, everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different. I'm an Amazon freak. I've ordered 15 things from Amazon in the last 3 weeks. So, you know.
Yeah, we order a fair bit. So, I mean, it's that is kind of like the more reason that we have it. And then, like, you kind of also get a free sub with it on Twitch. That's pretty nice. But, like, I'm not going to buy Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime just for the Twitch aspect of it.
No.
If they had not gotten rid of the ad free viewing, I could see that being something that benefits more people. But you know, right now that's not really there anymore. And I think like I don't know, I can see both sides of having everyone who's in the watch party have Prime, because again, people will find a way to cheat the system and basically become their own Prime streaming service, where they'll say, you know, if you sub to the channel and you throw me a tip here and there, I'll just continuously run this stream forever. But at the same time, you know, like Dogg said, how often do we see people do sub only streaming? I forgot it existed until we started talking about it again.
Yeah.
So watch parties, I don't think will make it if they don't make it where like maybe the streamer has to have Prime and then everyone else can join in and watch.
Yeah,
because
when it comes to that, I think there's a problem with all the rights holders.
I'm sure there is.
So it's
absolutely
one of those things that I think Twitch will never be able to actually implement like in that way, because I think the mainstream like movie film industry is still very unaware of what really makes streaming and Twitch really Twitch. It's all about the community aspects and less about the true showmanship. Yeah, because
yeah,
if you
that too.
if you look at anyone's stream, if you think higher production value equals better show, which equals better viewers, you'd be dead wrong. Because even I think Greek God X still has like a really low quality Logitech camera and like a headset mic, or Tyler One. Like you would never want those on any like majorly produced like show. They could definitely afford those for their stream, but they don't, because that's not what makes them them. In fact, that would probably detract actually at this point from what they do. So when it comes to companies, and this is my message to every company and every industry that does not understand Twitch, it is 100% not about the production quality. It's 100% about the connection you get with your audience, and also why and who they're there for. Because with streams, you're there for generally longer periods of time, and you don't have quick jump in moments. Like if it's a YouTube video, it's, "Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube video. We're gonna do this, and this," and then you're done in 10 minutes. But with the stream, usually you're not there at the start. You hop in when you have time, middle of your day. You go in, and you're right in the middle of a long series of projects. So thinking about it, how a user would use Twitch is the best way to go about it.
Yeah. I mean, the other issue they have at the moment as well is Discord is currently, you can get up to 50 people in your stream on Discord just now, so only one person needs Prime. do you know what I mean? Like,
we are not advocating piracy in any way, shape, or form on this podcast, by the way. Okay, just so everyone knows.
That's a solid point, though. Is again, I agree with you that we're not advocating this.
Well, no,
but let's be honest. In a time where people haven't worked in 2, going on 3 months, have had zero income, what are they going to do? Are they going to go, yeah, super, let me pay for Amazon Prime so I can watch this one TV show with this one streamer online? Or is somebody going to go, yo, 50 people getting a Discord right now? I'm just saying. That's another thing that it feels like they wanted this to be like the perfect time to drop this, but it still just excludes too many people. Or you run into those weird things where, like I said, my wife pays for Amazon Prime and I don't. So it's like, yeah, we have Amazon Prime in this household, and if I want to go in my living room right now and watch Amazon Prime content, I can pull it up on my TV and do it. But if I want to watch it with my friend who streams on Twitch on my account, I can't do it. So I don't know if there would be a way to connect those things in a house of someone in that home has this. So go ahead and you can use it because you're in the same family type of thing, kind of like Google does with various things. I don't really know how that would work because that's way above my pay grade.
Like Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix.
Like users on an account?
Yeah, exactly. Some way to do something like that would work really well. Like if you could link multiple Twitch accounts to one Amazon Prime account and still say, like, this account still only gets 1 sub per month based on the Amazon account, but then I could still come in and watch someone stream that, or I could still get the in-game drops for games that I do care about, because there was one for Doom Eternal. I can't have it because my Amazon account is not connected that way. And it's not a code. It's connected to the accounts. Yeah. So, my wife doesn't play Doom. I play Doom. Sorry, you still don't get it, dude.
Time to take your cell phone, open Twitch app, and just sit in chats, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the other option, is you just have to use that other person's account, and it's like, well, if I'm not subscribed on that account, then I lose ad viewing there, or I have to pay for a second subscription to the same streamer just to watch this one time, or I just go, I guess I just don't watch parties, which is kind of what I've accepted, is I guess I just won't be a part of one.
Yeah. All right, so anyone here, if you are interested in joining us, we'll be taking questions pretty soon here. Dear God, someone tell me the command. I forgot the command for it. I spent the last 10 minutes in chat trying to figure out the command.
Calls? Call?
I got it. Calls.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Velokk won't put you on the show.
He won't.
Velokk will not pull you into the show this week. Yeah,
he's gonna hop in specifically to welcome you, and that's it.
Someone's saying in chat that Amazon does have family sharing. Do you know if that actually goes onto the Prime account? Is that linked to the Prime account?
So we looked into something like that, and I don't think that it gets to your Twitch account.
Right.
Like, I think I might have been able to use the Prime shipping, but I wouldn't get the Twitch Prime from it, if I remember right.
Right.
Because initially I did have Prime, and then we switched it over that she was getting it with a discount. So I was like, well, I'm not paying for it full price. That's just silly. And it was I lost those things. So I don't know if maybe it could have also changed. I'm not sure.
Look at Rambi coming in there.
The following Prime benefits can be shared in an Amazon household: shipping, Prime Instant Video, Kindle owners, lending library, Prime Early Access, and Prime exclusive deals. So that doesn't say Twitch Prime though.
Yeah, it's not, so everything up to Twitch. So anything that's linked to Twitch won't register.
There's one small like jump there, you know. Yeah, there's like a small disconnect between those two. And that could just be something that just they haven't gotten to yet. Because, I mean, I think a lot of people on Twitch forget that Twitch Prime is a complete secondary to Amazon Prime. Amazon, that's not their main goal, is to get people to get Twitch Prime. It's to have Amazon Prime. And then, you also use Twitch? Great, here's a little bonus for you.
Yeah.
So
in a lot of cases, it's for the kids. You know, in a lot of cases, it's the parents' Amazon account. Here's something you can give to the kids, and it's you know, and then they can enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. So, one last main topic for today, and that is a bit more of a lighthearted one. The Fortnite Travis Scott event. Now, I don't play Fortnite anymore, but I did watch it through someone's stream, and I gotta say, I will say props to the team for putting together something really that graphically intense and amazing that short period of time. And I know we said this before, at least I said it before during the first major Fortnite event with the timers and the sky cracking and everything, that in-game events like that seem to be very, very good for the future. I think we might see a lot more of those going forward, not just from Fortnite, but from other major studios as well, too. Hopefully for more service-based games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the event or have any thoughts on it?
Well, I didn't see the event. Fortnite isn't really on my radar anymore. It's silenced on all my social media. You know, it's like muted that. No offense to anybody that plays Fortnite. You know, good on them. Hope they enjoy it. It's just not my thing. It is interesting to see them doing the events though. And one of the things I will say about Fortnite that is very, is they're at the forefront of. You know, there's definitely a Fortnite generation. You know, where that is the main focal point of the thing that they all connected over. You know, because it did take several younger generations really completely, you know, by storm and became everything. You know, the Fortnite dances and everything. So it is interesting to see them doing the concerts. They did the one where I think you said, is it Marshmallow as well? They did before.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is about it, you know, while these things are, the game, the amount of games that can do this are limited, you know, because of the way coding and everything works. You know, Fortnite is they've obviously written the coding where it's very much things get taken out and in and out and in and out. From what I can see, you know, like there's new weapons and new vehicles and they're in and they're out and they're new mechanics and, you know, like loads of different things. So they've obviously written the game in a way that can easily have stuff added and taken away. As it stands at the moment, there's not many games can do that. So to me, what it would take is games having that as a forward planning when they actually write the game and they build it to have that ability to quite quickly inject a whole lot of new stuff in and take it out, you know, because from what I've seen, it was massive, it was huge, you know what I mean? It was a real big thing, you know, the little bit of footage that I've seen. But at the same time, again, I just love to see gaming crossovers with mainstream media genres. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's great to see it. I love to see video game movies. You know, I love to see these things. I've like many of us, I've been a gamer. I mean, I suppose I've actually been a gamer for longer than some of you have been alive.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but you know, to see it getting more mainstream recognition, that really, I love to see that. So when I see these crossovers, regardless of whether it's for me or whether I would enjoy it, I think it's fantastic. You know, I think it's fantastic.
I think the best thing to push off of that too is, I know how many times you've probably watched media and they represent gamers in such a absolutely ridiculously stupid way, where it's nice that people who are mainstream, like honestly, so many more people play games than people think. And yes, mobile games count. People play mobile games, gotchas, shooters, consoles, sports games. We're all gamers. And it's less of a niche culture and more of a hobby for the general public, which I think is honestly where it should be. Like, games are awesome as an art form. You wouldn't say somebody who watches movies is a movieer, or somebody who is who eats food is an eater. Like, everyone eats food. I know it's kind of a bit of a stretch, but but yeah, it's nice seeing mainstream media, just simply because, you know, we are all people. Like, we all do the same thing. We have different interests outside of gaming, and that kind of fuels our interest for gaming as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the event because I don't really like either of those things. If you do, again, like Dogg said, if that's your thing, that's cool. But I wasn't going out of my way to see any of it. But I remember when they did the Marshmallow event. Again, neither one's really my big thing, but I checked out some a couple videos that people did, and kind of jumped around just to see what it looked like. And it was like being at a concert. The way that it all synced up was really well done, and I can't imagine that this was any different. And I do like this because it does a few things. It gives people the opportunity to interact together around that artist that they really enjoy, that they may never be able to actually see live for, whatever reason. And they may never be able to see that person live with that group of friends. Like, I can't imagine that Dogg, you and I are ever going to a concert together, man. I would love to, but I can't imagine that we're ever going to a show together since we live, a few miles away. But if there was a game that we both liked, or an artist that we both liked, in a free game, you don't have to pay for this game. It's free. You just download it. We could jump in and be part of that experience together. And whether you like Fortnite or the artist or video games in general, being able to do that is cool. Like, that's awesome. Living in an era where we can do that is just mind-blowing to me.
Absolutely.
Like, I definitely don't think it's the same experience as going to a live concert, obviously.
No.
But I mean,
no. It's less sweaty, I imagine.
It's just a lot less sweaty. But, I mean, for some people, it's as close as you're going to get. As close as you're going to get to going with some friends. And right now, it is the closest you're going to get. There are no shows happening. Every concert from... your downstairs basement hardcore show with 4 people in the crowd to your millions of people in an arena, none of them are happening right now. So anything that can give you that connection with an artist you like is genius to me.
Absolutely. Definitely.
I love it. All right, now we have our first caller of the day. It's going to be Degenerate. We're going to bring him in. Oh, Lord, I forgot Discord does that. Sorry, didn't mean to... I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. I thought it was Adam without doing the call. Everyone, Sadomi is no longer allowed to be.
Sadomi is just testing you today. It's just caltrop.
I'm the worst host in the world. I love it.
Swear.
Boom. Alrighty. So when Degenerate wants to go pick up, we will get his question started. Doop. Sorry, Envy, I'll give you a lot more warning next time. I'll
take us back to the main screen while we wait.
I'll count us to 10. 20,
Or
maybe.
just like a hey, I'm gonna click the button would be good.
I'm pressing the button. All right. So, Jenner, if you are around, you can join the call, and we will have you on here. Bada bing, bada boom. Make it all figured out. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Do you want to answer the other question we have in chat while he gets his stuff done?
I like that idea. Let's do that. So, we had a question from Ninja Spence 21. Question: what does the panel think about couples that stream together and streamers that introduce their significant other into streaming?
I don't know if I have like, I guess, strong feelings either way. As far as like if I was gonna watch a stream, I think just like any other thing that you are interested in, like a hobby, a passion, or anything, if you can share that with someone, that's awesome. Like, especially if it's your significant other. And they can be involved in so many different ways. Like, you could even literally just be like, hey, this is Twitch, and then walk away. And they could find streams they like to watch. And then that could be a way for both of you to find streams that you like, or new streams, where it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I stream, you watch my stream kind of thing. But I think if you can stream together, because my wife and I have done it, and it's more of a headache than you think it is. Because you have to do all of like the setup, you have to do all the behind the scenes stuff, and help someone else who maybe isn't as used to being on camera or streaming as you are. So it can be like a test and like kind of a good bonding thing, I think.
For sure. I've personally never had. Well, no, I've had at this when I was more back in 2017, a while ago. I did bring my partner at the time on for a stream, and it was fun. It was a good experience. I would love to do it again. It wasn't her thing particularly, and that's fine. Like, streaming is it's weird. Anyone else, it would be very it's so awkward.
Mm-hmm.
If you explain it in raw terms. Like, what are you doing? Well, I'm staring at a camera and I'm talking to the camera like people are behind the camera. It's hard to explain to people. So if they're already endemic to Twitch, they already are used to like the Twitch environment, they'd be more open to it. And if the openness isn't like an issue, then perfect, you're good. Try it out. Worst that comes to worst, they hate it, you hate it, you never do it again. Best comes to best, you found your new streaming buddy, and it makes it way much easier. Because as a streamer, I'm sure a lot of us probably get this too, it can be a very isolating experience. Because even though you might have a chat, a lot of people, you will feel you are still in a room by yourself, talking to a room of empty faces. Like, looking behind my camera is just a corner, a wall, and a window.
Oop, there it goes.
There it goes. Boom. So yeah, I think it's a fun hobby if you can get together. If not, then that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So one thought that I have right now while we're looking at all this is I really want a technical difficulty screen. For like, since Dogg just lost connection, it was like, well, we are just gonna move to a transition scene and just talk for a second, I guess. But the one thing that I will say, if that's what you're looking at doing, is don't. And I guess everyone can look at this differently, but my thought is this is the same way that I think about starting like a business with someone, or starting another, like a YouTube channel or a podcast with someone. Don't make it to where that is the only way that the stream can happen. Like, don't rely on someone else to always be there, because so many things can happen. And whenever it's just one person, a lot of things can happen. You can get sick, your internet can go down, anything can happen, but you have two people in there, that's two factors that can have problems. So if you stream only with your significant other, and that person gets sick, or is just one day just like, dude, I'm not feeling it, then do you cancel the whole stream, or is there a way for you to do it on your own? So it's kind of one of those things that I think is, if that's your plan, is make sure that you plan it out to where you can both stream on your own as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, for sure. I definitely
because...
don't think anyone should ever, like, so it's kind of morbid, but assume whoever you're streaming with, something will happen to them to where you will not be able to stream with them ever again, or they will hate you, or they will take whatever they had and take that equipment away, take the graphics away, whatever, it's just gone. Okay, because so many things can happen where, like I say again, like I said, you literally never know. You literally never know. Or even better, or not well, better, but pretty common. You could split up, and then it's awkward because you don't want to stream when they're not there, and then your ex is listening in chat like it's my channel too, all sassy like, and you're like, no, it's mine. I was here first, and then your own live stream fails, and then no one wants to be on live stream fails.
I mean, yeah, and like even in general, you could if you make that, what happens to the channel after that happens? If you and your significant other were to split up, or just you and your friends start one and you guys, have a falling out, like, what do you do then? Whose channel is it at that point?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I think it can be fun. It can lead to a lot of good times. And it's also, again, just like one of those things that if you like it, you can share it with that person is one thing. But if you're talking about streaming with them, make sure you can still do it on your own if they just are feeling down, if they're feeling sick, if they're going to visit family for a month and a half and you have to stay home because you have to work or something. Can you still stream on your own, or do you have to have like a whole separate channel? It's a whole thing at that point, I think.
Exactly. So next, the question. If everyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in chat and generate while waiting for Generate to get around here. Little mini question I'll ask to myself because I love asking myself questions. And also, I think a lot of beginning streamers do have this issue. I've had this issue before, and I saw this issue now. Sometimes when I get a little nervous, is dead air necessarily a bad thing? MPI, what do you think?
How do you mean?
Okay, so
like if you're just running out of topics to talk about for a second, is it necessarily a bad thing?
Yes, that's actually a pretty good way to word that. Yeah.
I don't think it's the end of the world. I think too many people get way too hung up on it. Is my thought. Like, yes, you should do your best to talk all the time if you can, but there's just going to be times where you're very focused on the game, or there's going to be times where you're just out of ideas, or there's going to be times where you're trying to fix the podcast behind the scenes while you're also still talking, so you might stare at the screen for a second like I was. Think about it that way, is anything can happen. And worrying about, oh God, the world has fallen apart around me on this stream, and now I can't work and talk at the same time. Being able to go, you know what? Hey, it's okay. I have to take 30 seconds and do what I'm doing is fine. If you're playing a game that you get like really focused into, or maybe it's a difficult game, like something like Dark Souls, I have a command in my chat for that. So my mods can see when I've become focused, because I'll go from like talking and moving to literally just like
a stone wall,
like just blank face, just staring at the screen. And if I don't say anything for a while, a lot of times they'll just throw that in chat, and it's like, I think the command is !focus, and it's just like, yeah, MPI's in focus mode. He's really focusing on the game right now. As soon as he finishes whatever he's working on, or beats this boss, whatever it might be, he'll be back with chat. Just give him a second or something like that. But I've had that for maybe 4 months. Whenever I got into streaming, I had that because I was playing like Halo, and I would get like mad into the game, and I just would not even look at chat. And then that's when I was like, we should probably have something like this here. And I just made one. It's easy to make, just like literally any other command that you would have, just throw it in there. It's not bad.
Yeah. And so one thing that also I want to bring up too with any kind of broadcaster, whenever you are live, whenever you're doing something, you can always prevent true dead air by having something to go on about. And the way you have something to go on about is by having a life outside of streaming for sure, having hobbies outside of it, having opinions and thoughts outside of it.
Yeah.
Now, it's one thing cool about streaming is it is your platform and you have a lot more room for error than other platforms. If you say something stupid in a YouTube video, if you say something absolutely ridiculously dumb in Twitter, it's harder for people to necessarily find that. Sorry, it's easier for people to look over it through a stream, especially if you're smaller. If you were bigger, if you were larger, if you were like a summit level or a XUC level, then yeah, 100%. It is a very, 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 be very careful what you say. But luckily, you have a bit more lenient. So if you stutter on something, or if you're like quiet for a second while you're thinking of something, it's not the biggest deal. And if you even look at some of the bigger streamers too, they'll stop, read chat, silent, and then get on to like responding to it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you talk constantly, like constantly, you will wear your voice out because you're talking for a long time. And honestly, a lot of you do not warm up your voices beforehand. A lot of you do not drink warmed beverages beforehand. You will, if there's one tip I will give you, is drink hot tea, drink warm water, room temperature at the coldest, and your voice will be more active. It'll stay active longer. That's from my personal experience. I'm not a doctor or anything, but from streaming for a while, that's kind of what I do. And if you need tips on how to talk about what you're doing in the game, sometimes practicing that off stream too is a good way to do it. So anything you're doing, just start doing a task and think out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Think out loud. That's what I like doing. So if let's say I'm sitting here talking during a podcast, or rather, let's say I'm over here trying to unscrew a water bottle. I will go through, look at it. I'm like, okay, let me unscrew this real quick. Why is it so oily? Why are my hands so oily? I hate that my hands are so oily. All right, put these down. And it's kind of go through like your thoughts. And not everything's going to come out amazing. Okay? It's not. Some of it's going to come out as absolutely dumb, absolutely trivial, absolute emptiness. But having a plan of action before stream as well, just having things to talk about, having a life outside of streaming, having hobbies and activities and thoughts will make the things you say on stream way better because you're pulling from those. So and the reason I'm so adamant on that part is because when I was growing up, when I was starting to stream when I was younger, I constantly just looked up information about streaming and that's all I was doing. So I was a pretty one-dimensional person. As you can see now, all I do is talk about streaming. I can't help it. I love this industry. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So if you have any kind of hangups about trying to keep off of dead air, just it's okay. If you get some dead air, that's fine. Just keep moving as best you can, make it work, and just relax.
Yeah, and I know a couple other things that I think maybe we've talked about on this show before, or just people have talked about it in general, is if you are worried that you're not talking enough, what a lot of people would do is set like some type of timer on their phone. And if they notice or they would check their like a watch that has like an analog watch that has like a ticking second. And if they had noticed like, oh, I haven't said anything in like 45 seconds, I should probably say something. That kind of started to get their brain and almost like a muscle memory of talking more in general. And a lot of people say watch your VODs and that will help. And to an extent, I agree. That will show you like where you're lacking in quality or what you could be doing better during your stream. But if your biggest thing is talking while playing a video game, if chat happens to be dead, make Let's Play videos. You can kind of kill a lot of birds with one stone here. You can learn editing softwares, which is a great thing to have if you're a streamer because you want to know how to at least do very basic edits to videos. You are going to see where you're having trouble talking. So like if you're playing a game and you notice, okay, let's say you're playing Skyrim. You walk a lot in Skyrim. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't played Skyrim. You walk a lot. What are you doing when you're walking? Are you just walking and staring at the screen to walk? Or are you walking and talking about like, oh, I see this over there. I see a bear. I see trees. Are you talking during the most boring part of a video game? If you're not, start trying to do things in those moments. And you're recording yourself. And even if you never release these videos, you see what you're doing and what you're not doing during a video game. And then once you kind of get comfortable making those videos and with doing your basic edits, then you can start putting those up on YouTube, and you have a second source of content that is feeding content back to your Twitch channel. So 3 birds, 1 stone. Sadomi, I think you're muted.
Perfect. Thank you. I
There
like
you
your
go.
answers. No one. I wasn't muted. I just walked away from my mic. You couldn't see me because I was. This is a GIF. This is a GIF.
Oh, okay. I got
Yeah.
you.
Anyways, chat. If you have any more questions, please don't be afraid to at Sadomi or TRUgaming in the Twitch chat down below, or join the Discord and hop in for a call in. We have about 30 more minutes, and we are open to any questions y'all have. And if you're wondering, yes, I do polish my head. So you don't have to ask that one. I do buff it every Thursday.
I've actually wondered that. I'm not going to lie.
Moisturizer. So, good segue for that. On-stream appearance.
Yeah.
Okay, on-stream appearance. Actually, hold on. So there we go. Spence has a question. I want to ask this one. Following up on my previous one, not name dropping, but a friend got his significant other to affiliate within a week of her streaming, and he's not super hype. He's not super huge, 10K total viewers. My concern is that growth was not organic. There's also this type of griefing, because I think it's not fair to the way griefing are growing. Because I think it's not fair to the ones that have grinded their butts off. I'm not preference seems scummy to me. So Ninja Spence, here's my reality to you. And this might sound kind of mean the way I put it out, but I don't like to sugarcoat things. Okay, grinding. It doesn't matter how hard you work, matters how smart you work and how you actually put you in. The only way to really grow as a streamer and on Twitch, in my very, very humble opinion, is there's no such thing as fairness. Because if you stream 300 hours a month, someone who streams 50 hours, someone who streams 100 hours a month, does not mean they're a third lesser of you as a broadcaster or through their like networks. Okay, the internet works on discoverability and on networking. If someone else is doing something and people like that, they are filling a need. They're filling a market. They are filling something. Okay, just because you do something for the same amount of time as someone, like streaming isn't a video game. It's not a video game. You can't grow by doing the same thing. You can't get XP and keep going up, and go by a consistent level. It's all different. Okay. Somebody who knows how to target a proper market, someone who knows how to fill a proper niche, someone who knows how to be consistent. That's a big one, consistent. They will give farther more ahead than someone who just does one of those things. Okay. Being a content creator is very strategy induced. There is very little luck. There's actually I would argue there is zero luck. There is 100% positioning though. And my concept of positioning is putting yourself into a situation or getting yourself prepared. So in case when the right situation comes along, you can capitalize and make the most of it. Good example. There was a Escape from Tarkov streamer called Pestily. He was making Escape from Tarkov content for 3+ years. For 3 years before the drops happened. And then he was averaging maybe like 1K viewers, like 2K. And then when the drops happened, he shot up to 1,500. And his videos got so many more views. But he had been doing the work for 3 years beforehand. He had positioned himself for that position, for that game. He was positioned in the correct area. So back to also saying that, sharing growth with other people, or rather having people like promote other people. That personally, as a person, if you should not be concerned about that, because that does not do anything for you. You cannot control that. And there's no such thing as inorganic growth, because all growth is technically organic in my eyes. Because I don't count follower numbers as growth. That to me doesn't matter at all. Like if I really wanted to, I can get 100,000 followers right now on Twitch. Really easy. You go to this website and you type in Twitch follow bots. You download the program and you get 100,000 followers. Boom. Okay, that's like 100,000 followers on Twitch, on Twitter, Twitch, whatever you want. Okay. What you really want to do is create some kind of emotion, some kind of emotional connection to your viewers. to people who consume your content, because that is where the real that's where everything is. That's what you really want. Okay, ignore the follow numbers, ignore people hosting raids, ignore that. You want to create that connection, and you want to fill a need that someone may or may not know they want. Anyway, that's my rant for that. So welcome back, Dogg. Dude, good to see you again. It's been like forever.
We missed you.
Yeah, you know, bad words to my ISP. Just
Can we get that in chat, please? Bad words to my ISP. Can I get that on a shirt?
Man, you know what? No, I'm making that shirt.
Bad
that
words
needs
to,
to
my
be a
ISP.
thing. Just bad words at my ISP. Or just like the Twitter at my ISP censored logo. Censored you.
Yeah.
So we could let Dogg catch up, I guess, on chat and stuff. But I mean, Sadomi, you kind of nailed it there, man. Like, I get where you're coming from. I can see being like, man, they got there faster than I did. What? That's not fair, though. I've been doing this the whole time. But another way to look at it is a huge part of streaming is networking, and that person happened to know somebody who already streams and already had a following and viewership. I mean, you may not think that 10,000 viewers is a lot, but that's 10,000 times that someone has watched that channel. So yeah, that person is probably going to say, hey, go check out, my friend, my significant other, and have a higher impact than someone who has 100 views total on their channel. But that just because that person hit affiliate doesn't mean that they're a better broadcaster than you, or that they're going to be more successful than you. They just happen to get there a little bit faster because someone else helped them. But like Sadomi said, follower numbers don't get you anything. It's sure, whenever you reach like a milestone of followers, celebrate it. That's awesome. You worked your butt off and you got there. But don't look at, oh man, Sadomi's got 4,000 followers and I've only got 2,000. God, I'm half as good as him. Because that's probably not true. That just means he's been doing it longer. Or, one night, a lot of people came in and followed him because they enjoyed his content that night. It doesn't make someone better than you in any way. Or mean that they are better off than you are as a broadcaster. It's a number, The most important, if you care about numbers, the most important number is going to be your concurrent viewership, because that's how many people are watching you right now when you're live, when it matters. And I don't care how many people follow me if they're not watching me. That doesn't do anything for me.
Exactly. And that's the number Twitch care about.
And also, if you're worried about like getting sponsorships or game keys, things like that, that's the number they care about. They're not going to look at it and be like, man, he's got 15,000 followers, but only 2 people watch him. Yeah, let's give that guy some money for those 2 people.
I think there's a sort of bleed over effect from other social media to Twitch in that regard, where follower count on Twitter, on Instagram, that is what equals success on those platforms. But it's not the same on Twitch at all. But also to touch on what Sadomi was saying about luck, like life, luck is created. Like you were saying about networking, the luck comes because someone put in the time and was talking and knows such and such and such and such, and that opportunity arose through that. The one thing that is absolutely the case in content creation is that who counts. So if you're not getting out there trying to get to know people, then you're limiting your chances of success in streaming. Whether it's right or wrong, it is what it is. Who gets you places. So like that luck, it's about the work that's put in. Adam, when I used to play football, you make your luck. That's what my old coach used to say. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You make your luck. The best players always seem to be lucky because they've put in the work that means that there's more chance that that little thing's going to go in their favor. They reduce the opportunities for bad luck, and to miss out on that good luck until it's going to keep happening, So, when it comes to that, put in the work. It will pay off. The right attitude and the right work will pay off in the long run.
Also, who do you think's going to fumble the bag harder? Somebody who has never practiced that one situation at all, or the person who's done that situation 1,000 times? Yep. Like, for instance, let's say that someone's practiced their raid message 1,000 times. They practice it 1,000 times a year, okay? 3 times a day. They get hosted by Tim the Tap Man. You know what they're going to do? They're going to be like, listen, I've done this every Tuesday. All I got to do, it's just another Tuesday for me. And then when he comes back, it's like, oh, the person who's never practiced their raid message, never practiced their openings, never practiced any of that. When they get to a situation, something goes wrong and they panic. They don't know what to do. They're not used to the situation. So if you ever want to really get good, you got to practice it. You put the time in.
Yeah, that's why drills. That's why every single sport has drills. drills. Why? Because when you're put in that situation where you've got to think like that, you revert onto muscle memory and you do what you've been drilled to do. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with anything. Like, people don't get up and be, people that go on and they present, the Oscars or whatever like that, anything like that, they're not going up there and winging it. The drills have been done, So absolutely, as you say, it's the practice, it's putting in the work, and recognizing that it's more, I don't mean this in a bad way, but the view of people being lucky or that it comes easy is kind of disrespectful. I'm not saying that this is done deliberately, but it is kind of disrespectful, because the work that is required to do these things is what gets these people there. When you consider them as to be lucky, or it seems to be easy for them, you're doing them an injustice by not recognizing that behind the scenes they're putting in hours. They're putting in boring work. What I mean? Like, doing that stuff over and over and over. So yeah.
I mean, think about somebody who's, who streams maybe, like, let's say 3 times a week. They don't really, practice their raid messages. They don't really do anything outside of it. They just turn it on and they stream. And just another example, we'll use Tim again. Tim the Tap Man one day is like, you know what? I'm finding the lowest person in this category and going to raid them. What do you think's going to happen? They got lucky that Tim the Tap Man raided them with his tens of thousands of viewers. But when they get there, everyone's going to go, this isn't fun. Like, there's a good chance that person may not... I'm not going to say if you have low viewership that you don't have an entertaining stream. But the person who doesn't practice, doesn't put in any work, and just happens to get 20,000 people dropped on them is not going to keep 20,000 people. Sure, people might follow. They might follow that stream to just, like, keep the hype going during that day. But how many people that come in with those big raids and follow ever come back again?
Yeah.
Think about it that way. So, sure, they got lucky that day, but where did that get them? Got them nowhere other than that day. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. If you want to talk about luck, that's the luck.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's still on you to turn that into something. You've got to build on that. Here's your platform. Can you do it? Do you know what I mean? Right. And that's where your practice, that's where your drills, that's where the hours that you've done and thought about things, because that's the other thing. It's about thinking about why you do things, it's like every single time you see these things that you think people are doing off the cuff, 90% of that is pre-thought out, it's pre-planned, it's, sure there's riffing, sure people will riff and build on stuff like that, but the vast majority of it is an idea that they've had and that they've planned and that they're now putting into action.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we have one more caller, and this time, MPI, I'll let you go to intermission so you can do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we're going to bring Britt on. He is a frequent caller and a very valued guest here at the StreamKey Podcast. We do appreciate Britt every time he comes on.
Hello.
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 Hello. How are you today, man?
Hi, Britt.
I'm good.
Good.
I want to get your opinions or just your view on this. So I was having a discussion with another streamer on Twitter, and like he was getting frustrated with like playing COD and Valorant by himself, and like his friend doesn't really match up with his schedule and that. So like what I said to him was, like just try find streamers and like get to know them and like spend time in the stream and like maybe play some games off stream, like just to get the know to them and just like kind of bond with him, with the streamer and the community as well. So of course eventually maybe like he has like a bunch of streamers or like a bunch of people he can play with.
Mm-hmm.
I just want like your views on like, you know, trying to, let's say, like make friends in the streaming community.
I mean, if you're looking to make friends to game with that are streamers, I think one of the best ways is to look for people that are streaming, saying, you know, that they play with yours. You know, that's a quick way to get involved in games with a streamer. So going into the category of game that you're wanting to play and looking through, there's usually, I used to do it quite a lot. I used to do it quite a lot when I was playing Siege, and met a lot of people through that. So I think possibly that would be the way that I would go, because at the same time you've got to always be aware. And I'm not saying that this was your intention or that you'll be your friend's intention, but people are kind of wary of people a bit at times on Twitch, you know, maybe trying to use them or whatever, you know what I mean, gain from them, that kind of thing. So you know, at the same time, you've got to watch, you know, because if you're jumping in like a partner stream or whatever, and you're trying to go, you know, you're trying to go on, I want to play, that might not come across correctly. Do you know what I mean? So personally, I mean, you know, looking for people that are openly saying, I play with viewers, or we have viewer days, you know, these are the days that you can join, and we do that. That to me is probably the quickest way to get involved and be involved with the streamer and the community themselves.
I also like said to him like he doesn't want to be pushy or anything like that, and that's like totally understandable. Like I said to him, like just like get to know them, even like try put like the playing games together to a side and just get to know everyone, because the relationships, the friendships, whatever, like can be so rewarding, and just like you don't want to take it back anything in the world. Because I even gave him some mentions about like Velokk, how I met him. Like I chilled in his stream. I like spent time like just getting to know him and his community. And like once, like I didn't even try to like just playing games, but like he got into Siege, and I was into Siege at the time as well. So like, obviously, like I asked him like, you know, like, do you want play some games like sometime? And you know, if you say yes, that's like great, then there's a chance of getting to know each other. I think like it annoys me that like people call it networking, but some people can see it as business side, and like it shouldn't be looked at that, because it's really making friends. Because I won't take back anything in the world getting know you, Dogg, or Velokk, or any people that I have met.
Yeah, I know, and I'm the same. I think what we're ultimately getting at here is that it's about building connections, real connections, and actually seeking out people for the right reasons. You know, and this is a subject and a topic that we've touched many times on this show. You know, like the real wealth of Twitch is the people that you can make friends with, and you know, and form friendships, relationships, and you know, all that with. Because only there's a very small percentage of people make it to partner, and an even smaller percentage of that make it massive, you know. So the main thing that we all should be enjoying the whole way is the connections and the people, you know. That's where the true wealth of Twitch lies, you know. Yeah, but I think you gave him the right advice, Brett. I think you gave him the right advice. I think that was good advice, and hopefully he takes it and he benefits from it, and he finds some people in a community. Also, the other thing is as well to join Discords. I keep saying this as well. If you're involved in certain games, you want to find people to play. There are always Discords that I know for certain games as well. You can go and find Reddit where it will be for teams. For example, again, I keep touching on Siege, but that's what my experience is. There's a Reddit Siege teams where you can go on, you put on your details where you are, let people know you're looking for a team, what kind of level you're at. And you can make connections through that as well, So definitely look at looking at as many. If you're specifically looking for people to play with, as many avenues as possible, and Discords and Reddits and forums are a really wealthy place to go for as well.
Yeah. So for me, there's something I really do want to address too with people. So a lot of people are scared of networking. So making friends and networking. You can get friends from networking, but you don't always have to network with who are your friends. They can just be people who have something you want and something you can offer them. That is a legitimate transaction. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's not using people. That's just, like, for instance, are you friends with the cashier at the grocery store? Probably not. Are you going to be nice to them? Are you going to, make the job easier so you get out there easier? Yeah, of course. That's just transactional. So when it comes to making good connections, find people who either you A, look up to, B, do something that you can't do, and find something that you can do better than them, and kind of see if you can leverage those skills together. Because, for instance, good example, I am absolute poo-poo at editing videos. I am absolutely horrible at editing videos. But I have friends who are. I am a lot better at understanding the marketing and promotional side of the streaming world. Okay? So I use those skills, and I always offer people who I network with, hey, feel free to pick my brain. If you want any information on anything, if you want me to help you out, go ahead. And if you have any videos I need to edit, I'll throw you a couple bucks. Just hook me up. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having relationships like that. And some of those people who are my friends, like this man over here with the beautiful beard.
It's the nicest compliment you've ever given me.
I like the delay.
I wanted to make sure he was pointing at me because we both have glorious beards. I don't know if his Discord's the same as mine.
But yeah, so don't be afraid to leverage your skills and abilities with other people.
Yes.
But when it's coming to finding people to stream with, to play with, honestly, find people who have the same level of hustle as you do. You don't want to find somebody who wants to work 10 times harder than you do, because then they'll burn you out, or someone who doesn't want to do anything and you want to do a lot, because that I think is more important, because at least you'll have an even level of doing things. And even if you two aren't the closest people immediately, that takes time. Nothing really that strong is overnight. So do your best. Focus on making connections with people and using what you have as benefits to other people. Every relationship in the world, every single one, is transactional. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how the world works. And having someone availability. Okay, sorry. There's more currencies than money. There's time. There's emotional leverage, or just emotional. I don't know the word, but emotional leverage, I'll say. And there's plenty others. Use them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you guys both really kind of nailed the two sides of it. Dogg, you really went into actually just being friends with people. And, Sadomi, you talked about the business side, and that is two sides of it. And I think the biggest thing is people who are quote unquote networking or trying to make friends and things is people always expect something out of someone else instead of just being yo, let's be friends, dude. So I think it's too often that we see people that are oh, well, you didn't come watch my stream last night. I'm not coming to watch your stream. Okay, well, that person may have had a crying baby all night. You don't know. People got other stuff going on outside of Twitch. So I think don't expect anything from other people just because you're watching their stream or hanging out with them. Just, like legitimately make connections with people, and there are different connections. There's business connections, there's friendships, there's connections that can be both. I have video editing clients who, once I'm done editing for them, I'll never talk to them again until they need another video edited, because that's the nature of our relationship. We're not friends. We are a business connection. I have friends who I've been best friends with for, 12 years who I will never edit a video for because they have no need for it. They don't ever need a video edited in their life.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We're just friends. And then I have friends who we're good friends, and they also say, hey, I need this video edited. I'm going to throw you a couple bucks, and if you can edit it for me, that'd be awesome. So there's just like anything else, there's levels of connection that you have with people. And I think, kind of like Dogg said, is if you just want friends to play games with, and also sometimes they do it on stream, just get to know people and hang out with them. And then once you get to know them, say, hey, I'm going to be streaming Siege tonight. I'd love if you guys came on and you were my team tonight. And we'll have fun, we'll play, and it'll be on my stream. And then if you're wanting to do a project with someone, that's kind of like where Sadomi said, find somebody who matches your want to work and has a similar end goal for that project. Because, somebody comes in and says, I can work 15 hours a day every single day on this project. And you're like, well, I have a full-time job. I have a family. I can give you 4 hours on the weekend. That project is not going to work out between the two of you because both of you are going to be frustrated with the other person. That person's going to be frustrated that they're doing all the work, and you're going to be frustrated that they're expecting you to do more when you said you can't. So I would say figure out what you want that connection to be, and then just say hi to people. Just be like, what's up?
Yeah. I think that's something as well, to be aware and upfront about the nature of your interactions with people. As Sadomi says, it is fine to have transactional relationships with people, but firstly be aware that that's what that is, and secondly be honest about it with the person as well. Do you know what I mean? Like that's where networking can become toxic. Do you know what I mean? Where people begin to expect the transactional nature straight away up front. And that's where it can become toxic. So being aware that there's going to be some, like exactly how MPI was describing, some people that you're very good friends with, and some people that are you just speak to them whenever they're needing something, and both of them are fine, but recognize the difference and treat them accordingly.
Yeah,
exactly. I think that was a good one, Britt. Thank you. Before we call it, do you have any other follow-ups to that question, Britt? And do we answer your question sufficiently?
It was glad to pick your beautiful minds.
Thank you.
I'll be Russell Crowe. Is that me, Russell Crowe? I'll take that.
Well, perfect, Britt. Thank you for calling in. We do appreciate it, and we hope we'll see you again next week, my friend. Thank you.
See you later, Brett.
Sure.
Alrighty. Now, everyone, it is now 1 p.m., so we are going to have to sign off for the day. But I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming out to the StreamKey after a few weeks. We want to get a show out because we haven't had a show in a while, and we missed you guys. We love you guys. Every time you guys come into our chat and type something, it warms my heart. It makes me feel like people actually enjoy listening to our big brains just explode on the air. Also, shout out to MPI for literally being the best technical producer we could get, because this man I'm not kidding you, he had 5 minutes to prepare.
Yeah.
Literal 5, no hyperbole. We told him he had to run the stream at 10:55. I have the DM screenshots to prove it. And I will leak.
Yeah, and I hadn't even had coffee yet, so like that's like me just not sleeping and then being expected to do it.
Yes.
So gotta have that coffee in me.
Mucho impresivo.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also shout out to Dogg for his amazing internet. Like this man wouldn't let the worst connection in 2020 stop him from coming onto the cast and still dropping fire and barely showing his frustrations. Barely. All we got was a great merch idea out of it. So, and also I want to extend a very large, if you can also do me a favor one more time, if you can drop hearts for Veli. He's dealing with a lot right now, so I want everyone to give him as much love as possible. Hopefully he'll be back on relatively soon. We don't want to rush him, but when he comes on, he'll come back to welcome open arms. I know you all miss him. We all miss him as well. So, with that being said, MPI, please, as the producer of the StreamKey Podcast today, please let people know what you do, how you do it, and why they should care about you and your wonderful, fantastic beard.
Well, obviously, the beard is just beautiful. That's why. But you can find me on all the social media platforms and content platforms under Mr. Pure Instinct. I stream a variety of stuff. We do games. We do baking streams. We do video editing. Possibly perler art. I do a little bit of everything. Just try to have fun and use the internet to connect with people. We drink a lot of coffee. We talk about mental health. So if you ever need a place to vent, or if you have a discussion you want to have about mental health and mental illness, our channel is a safe place that you can always come and do that no matter what. And if anybody gives you a hard time about it, they get smacked with a hammer pretty hard. So thanks for watching, guys, and dealing with me messing with these technical difficulties in the background the fastest that I could while also trying to talk.
And Dogg, let them know why you have the best internet provider.
Normally it's actually quite good, but of course it chooses right in the middle of the stream. Yeah, of course, you can find me, Dogg_gaming on Twitch, Dogg Gaming on all the other social media platforms. I am a FPS gamer at heart on a variety journey at the moment. And just like MPI, my channel is somewhere that you can come and safely talk about any mental health issues that you might have, or even just any issues that you have in your day. A place to vent. I'm always listening. But once again, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure as always.
And everyone, my name is Sadomi. I am the host of the Sadomi Show live every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. EST until usually about 7 p.m. Depends on how much time, how much my brain fries. We do co-working streams together where we use the Pomodoro method. If you are interested, I'll be streaming right after this as well on my channel, twitch.tv/Sadomi. So if you want to come by, feel free to do that. And today, I want to thank, honestly, everybody in the show today. Vince for helping us set up, MPI for running it, Dogg for being here, teleporting out, but coming back.
Here and at times.
At times. All the chat for your wonderful questions. All the callers for all their wonderful bring-ins. And for once, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have someone else say it. So, MPI, Dogg, in unison. Can I get the normal catchphrase?
Blaze up.
Thank you. Everyone have a great night, and I'll see you all next week, hopefully. Take care. Bye-bye.